Illinois has found a way to clap back at the state of Texas when it comes to reproductive rights and protecting them. So whereas Texas has banned abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy before many people know they're even pregnant, in Illinois, a Democratic state lawmaker is proposing a different kind of law that is based on the Texas law but turned on its head. So State Representative Kelly Cassidy, who in 2019 sponsored a law defining abortion as a fundamental right in Illinois, is now introducing a bill dubbed the Expanding Abortion Services Act, the acronym of which spells Texas, kind of. But so this law does something different when it comes to that 10,000 bounty, remember, that Texans can put on anybody for aiding or abetting an abortion, so-called. Cassidy's proposal instead would give Illinoisians the right to seek at least $10,000 in damages against anyone who causes an unwanted pregnancy, even if it resulted from consensual sex, or anyone who commits sexual assault or abuse, including domestic violence. Cassidy said, quote, if folks are policing the bodies of people who are seeking reproductive health care in Texas, well then, maybe we should be policing the bodies of people who are causing those problems here in Illinois.
Sounds like it's so crazy, right? This is one of those things that makes a good point. So, oh my God, you mean you're coming for me when I had some consensual sex? Wait, I had consensual sex. How dare you try to come for me because something was a result of that, hey, it's not my fault. Oh, is it? Or is it not your fault? Or maybe you can make decisions as yourself as an adult afterwards and do what you want with your life. It's this weird thing it goes with allowing Americans to have freedoms that they like to spot off and talk about. So I mean, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Which, and by the way, if it doesn't go anywhere, it should go just as far as the bills that this is highlighting. Things like what's happening in Texas. And I like these kinds of points that need to be made, but the people that need to hear these points aren't really gonna hear them anyway. But I mean, we have to at least try.
No, absolutely, and you're 100% right. I mean, a lot of anti-choice folks, whether in Texas or around the country or in the Supreme Court, their rationale is, well, even if you had consensual sex, that automatically makes you a consensual parent. No, it doesn't. No, not in any world does it make you a consensual parent when you have consensual sex, right? And this flips that completely on its head and says, yeah, it takes two to tango. There's two people involved usually when a pregnancy happens, and so 100% there should be damages. That if this person was involved, then this person should they should be sued for it, and they might even be involved in the abortion. That's the thing about the Texas law that makes no sense, which is like, okay, if you can sue your Uber driver, if you can sue the person who performs the abortion on someone who is seeking it, then why wouldn't you be able to also sue the person who made the pregnancy in the first place, right? Like, why not sue the dad in this case? When does life begin? Like, how far can we go? Why not sue White Claw for getting you drunk that night and making it look like this dude was a good idea, Why not sue Rihanna, who was playing during the time when things were happening?
Yeah, that's my song. Oh my God, it gets him in the mood. So of course, hey Rihanna, hey, you shouldn't have made such a sensual song to get him in the mood to really want it. And hey, maybe he bought Lifestyles instead of Trojans, right? Lifestyles, maybe they broke. Oh my God, the condom broke, and therefore, hey, there's so many players in this process to get us to this point. Hey, maybe you should sue the sex ed teacher back in 6th grade that didn't tell you the truth about what was really supposed to happen, and then you did things wrong once you're on your own. Crazy. I mean, there's so many people in this process.
I love the idea of suing education boards for not properly educating people about pregnancy, instead teaching abstinence only, not teaching folks how to put on and use condoms or giving away free condoms. I mean, that's obviously, this is all about, going back to the dark ages for women, subjugating, controlling women's bodies. And this is my thing on all this. Look, if you just want women to be back in the home, cooking and child rearing and not contributing to the economy or to her community or to the world at large, Tell me a family that doesn't rely on 2 incomes in the year 2021. Like, honestly, even if your little Handmaid's Tale fantasy could come true, the economy can't sustain it. Women have to be in the workforce. Sorry, buddy, sorry. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you actually wanted that, why don't you provide free universal pre-K, right? Why don't you expand healthcare coverage? Why don't you expand women's health coverage, which involves reproductive justice and rights, and when and how to become a mom and a parent. So
how about they tell some of these guys who then are fathers and they want their woman to be at home being handmaid's tales, just raising the kids while they go and work. Hey, what if she's not there? It'll start jailing women for their decisions. Gonna throw her in jail. So now who's gonna take care of your kids, since this is the perfect scenario for the woman to sit home and take care of your kids while you go and work? How are you gonna go to work, bud, while your kids are at home falling off of tables and busting their heads open because nobody's there? You wanna punish people to the degree that you rid them of society, but you still need them. You only need them just for your purposes, from sex to taking care of kids to cooking and cleaning. For some reason, that's the only need you need them for. What if they're not there? It's why they've had these types of rules, or not rules, but declarations where they say women should take a strike and just not show up and really show you what you're missing out from their contribution to society. I don't think they want that.
I mean, at a time when we're talking about Afghan women and using them as props and, their rights and this and that, and how, the Taliban just wants women to not have control of their own bodies and be in the home. It's very difficult not to make the comparison to this country, right? We got to take care of our own house first. So good on State Representative Cassidy. And I just want to say there's one more quote that she has that I really appreciated. She says, there's a certain element of hold my beer to this, obviously. But the truth here is that if this is our new normal, if this is the way that conservatives are gonna police women's bodies, and we have, as a state have, with a great deal of intentionality, have established ourselves as a safe haven, we also have to figure out a way to manage that. Yeah, 100%. And it's obviously Illinois and Texas are not neighbors, but there is an impact, for neighboring states or for any place that doesn't have a clinic. They're gonna be taking so-called like reproductive rights refugees in to them. I mean, look, this is at the same time where I believe either the city of Mexico or Mexico as a country decriminalized abortion. And we already know that women on the border of Texas and Mexico, over the US and Mexico, have been crossing the border to get access to something called misoprostol, which is supposed to be an ulcer medication, but also does induce early stage abortions and has been a lifesaver to many, many women. Also, when administered wrong, can be a death sentence, right? Abortions will continue. It's just a matter of how and under what conditions they continue. So I love the clapback. I'm here for it. We have to do more stuff like this. Oh, by the way, just in case you were like, where's the money gonna go if this does happen? They're creating a whole like state abortion fund, state abortion freedom access fund. And these are the kinds of Democrats we need. You know what I'm saying? Like Newsom, now that he survived this recall, that's what I want. I want a state abortion freedom access fund in California. Let's triple, quadruple down on what we all know is a constitutional right.
Absolutely. I mean, we have money. We like to talk about how rich we are and then how poor we are. It's just where the money goes. It's always where the money goes. There's always money. Folks that are on their boats and yachts and running corporations and don't pay any taxes, they're not concerned about where's the money. It's right there in their pockets. So let's stop with the narrative that we don't have any money. Because we talk about how we're the greatest nation in the history of the world. Are we or are we not? It depends on what we do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And a nation that keeps half of its population without their full rights, I would argue, is not a rich nation, morally or economically or in any degree.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.